Hey everyone, this is Luther Palmer.
And I'm Jobina Scott.
And welcome back to
Welcome
One
back.
Episode Stand, a podcast here to help you figure out what new shows to watch and what to skip.
Luther, I'm assuming that since we've been on a little bit of a hiatus, everybody has been sitting, waiting for our recommendations, watching nothing on streaming. But the good news is, folks, we're back. And as you know, each episode we watch and discuss the series premiere of a new television show. So this is your opportunity to watch something new. And then like the Rolling Stones we are, friends, we move on to the next show.
So everyone is having one night stands. I think people are still doing that. And we are going to be having one episode stands again. We love them and leave them. We hit it and quit it. We tap it and scrap it. But we do it for you, the listeners. Jobina, we're going to get to, what is it, Carol and the End of the World?
Carol and the End of the World.
But tell the people what else you're watching.
So in addition to watching Carol and the End of the World, I am also watching Fool Me Once. So Fool Me Once is also on Netflix. And it's the series about this woman whose husband gets killed right in front of her very eyes.
Oh.
But then she sees him on their nanny cam after he's been buried, like in the house, picking up their daughter. And it's the mystery to try to figure out what happened. So I'm only on the first episode. It could show up on this podcast. I don't know.
Sounds like those true crime shows that you like to fall asleep listening to and watching. This doesn't sound. It sounds
good. It's so far so good. I'm into it.
All right. Are you watching? Do you know about Reacher, Jack Reacher? Do you know anything about that?
I do know about Jack Reacher.
So I'm watching Reacher. I think it's season 2 or season 3. I'm watching that. I'm also watching The Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix. I think there's an Edgar Allan Poe tie-in, but I don't know his writing well enough to know if they're like quoting him from time to time or if this was a story that was extrapolated from one of his things. I don't know. It's okay. It's good. It's good. Okay. So Carol and the End of the World. Tell us about it.
Okay. So Carol and the End of the World, of course, is on Netflix. It is just 30 minutes, but this is our first adult cartoon.
Yes. Animated. Yes.
Animated series. I'm super excited about an animated series. So Carol is grappling with the literal end of the world. So humanity is going to be impacted by this giant meteor that's coming to Earth. It will destroy the Earth in 7 months and some change. And everybody is responding to it in different ways, including Carol.
So where do you come down on animated shows? Were you a Simpsons fan, SpongeBob, South Park, any of that stuff?
Yeah, so I was definitely a Simpsons fan.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my only animated series that I enjoyed as an adult viewer. Like I watched SpongeBob because my kids are watching SpongeBob.
Okay,
I watched lots of animated series because my kids are watching them. But I was watching The Simpsons before I had any kids. I really loved it.
Do you remember the episode where they brought in Daryl Coley to sing the national anthem? It was like 12 minutes long.
He did every riff and run he could do. Oh man.
But you know this is such a tangent, but people were like, we want, because they skipped forward in time during that song, right? It was like a 12-minute rendition and skipped forward, right? People were like, no, we want the whole song. Like, does it exist?
Yes.
Because we want to hear 12 minutes of Daryl Coley doing runs of the national anthem. Yeah, I was a Simpsons person. I didn't do anything else. I didn't do
Family Guy or South Park or any of that stuff.
And one of the reasons I didn't do those is because, and it actually happens in this episode, I don't know why they feel compelled to draw the characters so oddly. Like,
Carol's eyes. It's very odd.
Well, all the characters, their eyes are touching.
They're touching and they're enormous on their face.
Yeah. And to me, that just comes across as a distraction. Like, why can't you just draw them normal?
No,
I don't get it.
I think to me, it added to Carol's general malaise. I like the way they drew her. Like, it is the way someone who is like Carol would look as a cartoon character.
But all of their eyes were drawn together. Like that was the style of this cartoon, was we're going to draw all the humans with these big, super close eyes. And it just, to me, it takes away from it.
I liked it.
All right. So how else did it look, sound, and feel?
So it is. I mean, it looks like an animated series. It's
Hmm.
you mentioned how the people are drawn. Like it's Carol and her parents and her family, but also everyone in the whole world. So it's all different types of cultural images of people. There's a lot
Right.
of nudity. I was not I was not expecting that.
Well, is there a lot of nudity, or are there just a couple characters who are nude?
Well, I mean, but feel like there's a general, like her parents are obviously nudists, but there's also like, there's hedonism happening because people are like, it's the end of the world. So people are just
Yes,
kind of showing
yes,
up however
yes,
they want to show
yes.
up.
I did like the premise of the end
Uh
of the
huh.
world being in
Me
7 months, right? Like,
too.
sometimes we think, oh, if you only had 24 hours to live, what would you do? Or if you knew you're going to die in 6 months. But this is not me
No,
dying.
everybody, all of
This is
us. Yes,
everyone. Like,
yes.
it's all
Yeah.
over. And they did like a montage of like, what's the big mountain that everyone climbs? Mount Everest. And how Mount Everest like had a line
Mm-hmm.
going up the mountain because
Yes,
everyone's got it on their
everybody.
bucket
Yep.
list. What's on your bucket list, Jovina? Like what? Like let's talk about what you need to do before you die.
I haven't started my bucket list because I'm so young and spry.
Okay.
I have a
Okay.
lot of time. But that being said, I feel like in general, without having cultivated my list at this point, I have like new skills on my like I want to cultivate and build new skills. I don't know yet what they are. Like I didn't do like sourdough during COVID or anything like that. But like
Right.
I feel
Right.
like there's like people who are identifying something that they want to learn and they're going
Hmm.
after it. So I don't yet have my first thing that I want to do, but I want to learn something new, something that I don't have any idea how to do in 2024. I want to come out of the back end of this year having learned to do something at least proficiently that I don't know how to do
Hmm.
right now.
Let me just take this however you want.
Oh Lord.
I would put together a bucket list. If I were you,
You
if I were in your
are
position,
the rudest.
if I were in your position,
Which you
I would
are.
be starting to
Which
focus on my bucket list.
you are. If I'm in this position, so are you.
I've always had the pyramids on my bucket list.
Okay.
I would because it's an engineering marvel, right? People still don't really know how
How
it
did they do
happened.
it?
The
Yeah.
rocks are way bigger than I thought they were. As a kid, you see the pictures of it. The rocks weigh 2 tons each. I was a little disenchanted when you see like how close the city has infringed
Uh,
upon the pyramids. Like you think the
mm-hmm.
pyramids are like in the desert, and you get on these
Yeah.
camels to go, but the city is like
There's a
right
mall.
there. It's like right there, and
Oh
it's like
no.
it kind of takes away from the. But I still want to see them, so that's a bucket list. I did skydiving already. I'm
I'm not
not Mount
interested in
Everest
that.
guy. That's like tens of thousands of dollars.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not into that. I would like to see the Coliseum. I think because that's also
Mm-hmm.
my stuff is kind of
All
engineering,
engineering wonders, huh?
like engine like how did they do this and why. In terms of skills, I have talked about wanting to learn how to play the piano for if I'm 47, so 42 years I've
Oh
been.
my goodness.
So if the world were to end in 7 months, but then I would be like, well, why learn
You
now?
wouldn't be that good. In
I
seven
can't ever
months, you would
use it.
still be trash.
But that's the other thing. So in this show, people stopped working. So
They did.
I could
You could
theoretically play it,
practice all day.
14 hours a day playing the piano.
Yeah.
But it was weird because like everyone can't stop working. Like we still need
Right.
electricity, we still
Services still
need
have.
food.
Yeah, but she was shopping at the grocery store, and like the military was like doing the
Right.
they were
They were
doing the
checking out.
checkout.
Right. Right. So there was interesting, and we do this more or less, and I'm going to skip all the way to that right now.
Okay.
I would like to see more of like what would life actually. And this is a lot to ask of a cartoon, right? I mean, it's a cartoon, an animated series, but like, what are the nuanced things of what life is like? Like you said, the military personnel were the cashier. They weren't just
Right.
standing; they were
No, they
literally
are
the
literally
cashiers,
checking you
right?
out. Yes.
Food is important enough; has to be guarded. Like, what
Mm-hmm.
other nuanced things happen if the world's going to end in 7 months? So I liked some of those touches they did.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about nudity, and it's full frontal nudity. It's
It is of some geriatric people. Like
geriatric
it is
animated
Carol's
animated
mom,
people.
and Carol's mom is sagging in all of the
Right. In all
places
the
you
right
might
places.
imagine. In all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
right
The places that people sag, she's
She
sagging.
is sagging. Yeah, and she and her husband are really comfortable with who they are.
And they have formed a
throuple.
a throuple with the
Their home
husband's
health aide.
caretaker. Yes. Who's not a nudist.
He has all of his clothes on.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
my God.
But I appreciate, I mean, they were like, this, the end of the world's ending. I didn't get the impression they were nudists before, right? They lived in a regular suburban home.
No,
but
they
they're like,
just
what
took
are
it
they gonna
on.
do, throw us in jail for being naked? Like, everyone's out here yelling and screaming and spray painting, and we're just gonna be naked and in a throuple with our caretaker.
Yes. Which seemed they just were fully settled into it. I feel like maybe
Right.
they were a throuple with their caretaker before the end of the world, because
You think so?
They were settled into that relationship. Like Michael, the caretaker, was like talking with Carol as if he was like her second dad. And
Right.
I think they were into that before the end of the world.
Where are you on nude beaches? Are you going to a nude beach? If you're in a hotel and you're with your husband on vacation and he says, "Oh, I heard there was a nude beach, 1 block away."
Yeah, number one, that's all he would say. He would not say, "Let's go," because he knows, number one, I would not go and he would not go. Yeah, no, we were not going. However, when I guess my parents had like maybe their 40th wedding anniversary, and they were living in Jamaica, and we went to visit them, and we stayed at this resort. And so we were jet skiing, and our jet ski guide like went past our resort and the next resort, and the third resort over was hedonism. And he's like, "Now, if you turn your eyes to the right,"
yeah,
and there are people of every age, every shape, everything just out there fully comfortable with their nudity. And I just don't know how they do it.
Tamina, this is how we come into the world, naked.
And then as soon as we get here, they put a hat on us, a diaper, and a blanket, and they cover us.
This is our natural state.
And they cover us up immediately.
You have been corrupted by the man telling you have to be clothed at all times.
At all times.
I'm into it. I'm going to the nudist colony. I'm going on a weekend retreat where we're in the woods of Indiana and no one's wearing clothes. And I'm into all the things.
Why would you go to the woods of Indiana though? Go to a beach. Don't don't go to the woods with no clothes.
No, because I think a beach romanticizes it. I'm talking about we are just living life naked.
You're talking about like Naked and Afraid type of episode where you're just like you're out there. Well, all right, so more power to you.
What other themes came up for you in this show?
I mean, Carol is trying to find her way in this end of the world scenario. Like everybody is taking it differently. Like I mentioned, there's like a whole wave of hedonism. Like there are people who are just like, I'm going to live it up. I'm going to rock it out. Like Carol's sister is like off on an adventure, jumping out of a plane, learning how to speak French. And like Carol is just trying to figure out how she is going to approach the last 7 months of the world. And it is not in the way that other people are approaching it.
Yeah, I think that was the conundrum or the crux or whatever. That was the issue that the show was built around. Everyone in the world is doing bucket list. Everyone is carpe diem. Everyone is lighting firecrackers every night. And
firecrackers were like,
becoming
what?
nudist. And Carol literally is trying to figure out, she wants her normal life. She's contacting her doctor, trying to make dental appointments. And the doctor's like, Carol, we're not doing this anymore.
We're not doing it.
And it kind of, it was interesting to me because it made me think about when everyone is doing something and you don't want to do it. And you sort of feel like and she kind of is searching for her people, right? Like where are the people
my crew?
who aren't doing it this way? And even her parents were like, Carol, do something wild, do something crazy. And everyone is just like forcing one type of behavior. and she's looking for something different. And I paralleled that to, I think a lot of people are in situations where everyone around us is doing something and thinking about things a certain way, and we're just different. And it's a tug between what I want to do and what I'm expected to do.
Well, that's definitely what Carol was experiencing. I mean, even down to the point where the bank had to send her a letter saying, like, please stop trying to pay off this bill. It's been paid. Like, and the president of the bank is no longer even working here. Like, it's over, Carol.
Right.
Like, stop.
Yeah.
But Carol is searching for, I think, a sense of her own normalcy right up to the end. Like, she does not want to transition.
Yeah. Okay. Anything more or less? Anything you want to see more? I mean, it sounds like you want to see more nudity, right?
I did not say that. I did not say that. I want to see more of just the countdown to the end and what happens with people's behavior, what happens in the world, to your point. Like, how does the world continue to function? Right. I want to see more of this doomsday scenario right up to the end.
Yeah, and I'm curious if, I don't know how many episodes there are, but I'm curious if this is going to be like the 8 episodes are like 1 month, or if they go all the way to 7
down
months
to the end. Who knows?
Say like down to the end, or if this becomes like a series where, you know, or season after
season.
You could get season,
every month. That would be cool.
Yeah. Okay. Marry, kill, one night stand. So I'm going to ask you about Eric. Eric is a guy that Carol meets.
He's Carol's one night stand.
He is. Oh, that's right.
He
doesn't want to be that.
He does
but
not.
He is. But he was a nice guy. Like,
do not make me a Denver omelet. Please get me out of
this
house.
What is a Denver omelet? I
had no idea. I'd never heard of it. I think it's just an omelet with like red and green peppers or yellow peppers in it. I don't know. Never heard of it.
So I'm going to say Eric. Eric was a nice guy. He was just, he had a kid. He was lonely. How you going to say for Eric?
I'm going to kill him.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a no for me. He was too needy. He was too needy. And really, he wanted, I think, more than his own companionship. He wanted a mother for his son. And I don't know. There was just too much going on with Eric in his life.
So an all-time funny scene in television and life is a "I love you" responded to by
right, or thanks. Right?
Have we talked about this before? Has anyone ever given you an "I love you" and you didn't love them back?
I mean, I think someone probably loved me and I didn't love them back. They were smart enough not to say it. But no, I have never been in the awkward situation of like, I love you. And I'm like, thanks. Yeah. No, that has never happened to me. Has it happened to you?
So I got caught once.
I got caught.
I was unprepared. And then after that, I was like, I'm going to be prepared
you
next
had
time.
You had a response. Okay, so.
And then the response I came up with, which I had to eventually use.
You had to use it again. Okay, here we go.
And I care deeply for you.
Oh, no. Oh, God. Okay, ladies, and gentlemen, if someone says, and I care deeply for you in response to your I love you, please know that the relationship is over. It's over. It is
but
over.
But there's no right answer. There's no right answer. So
yeah,
I was
except like, what about brutal honesty? Like, I'm sure everybody in the world has watched The Invention of Lying. I think about this movie so much when it's like, what if everybody was telling the truth? Like,
wait, but that person was my truth.
Yeah, but your truth was also, don't you think there was a kernel in that truth that was like, we could stay in this, but you feel more strongly about me than I do about you.
Why does that have to end if I do care deeply for them?
But don't you think it's a critical turning point? Because, like, are you going to love them eventually?
I could.
And you could, except.
But I guess I don't see. Do we have to fall in love at the same moment? Like, isn't it okay for one person to be in love and communicate that and have that vulnerability? And the other person say, I'm not there yet, or I'm not there right now.
Yeah, but see, that is more honest than I care deeply for you. I'm not there yet says to that person, you're in one place in the relationship and I'm in another. I care deeply for you. To me, it feels like hang in there with this. Let's see where it goes, rather than like, I'm just going to tell you the brutal facts. You're in love with me and I'm not in love with you.
I mean, I can see that I'm not there yet is a good response. That's probably the best response.
Yeah, I feel like that's just more honest.
Yeah.
And then the person, to your point, the person does not have to say, well, then that means I'm out of here. Because they may then be able to ask you, do you feel like you'll ever get there? What do you think it will take? And then they can make some decisions. But I care deeply about you.
Now, Eric also said this within hours of meeting her.
He did. He was like, but Carol, I'm in love with you. And Carol was like, oh my God.
Oh man. Okay.
Okay, so you gave me Eric. I am going to give you, of course, Carol's mom.
Carol's mom? Carol's mom has her plate full. I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Like, she has got her plate full.
You would definitely have to take a number.
Which makes me think Carol's mom might
have
know a thing or two. I'm going to have to one night stand Carol's mom to see what all the fuss is about.
Oh my God. Oh Lord.
Okay. I think we covered everything, right? We got everything?
We did.
Now for the question.
There's one thing we're missing. So you talked about Carol wanting to find her group.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a spoiler. Maybe I shouldn't say it. But at the end, where does Carol go?
Work?
She goes to work. Like a person in pursuit of normalcy. She sees this woman in like their public transportation dressed in a suit. And she's like, something's going on here. And she follows her.
Right.
And the final scene of the first episode is the elevator doors opening finally on the floor where everyone is working. And I think that going into these next few episodes, Carol is going to, that is her group. She has found her place.
Yes. But it seems like it would be easy to find people working because there has to be electricity. Like there have to be gas. Like go to a gas station and go to corporate office. Like people are going to be working. Like, and they're going to be looking for people like Carol because everyone else is out climbing Mount Everest. So it doesn't seem like it'd be hard to find. Like that was the disconnect for me in this episode. Is this idea of no one's working, but yet people are living lives. All services
are running. Yeah.
All services are running.
Well, maybe the government has taken over everything. I mean, this is a cartoon, so it doesn't. You're like, but who is running the post office? Nobody. It's a cartoon.
Who's delivering the mail? Damn it!
Oh no.
All right, so based upon the one episode, are you going to watch it again, or was this a one episode stand?
I'm going to watch it again. I was really compelled by it. I think it's interesting and funny and insightful, and I like Carol, and I'm going to watch it again. What about you?
I'm not a fan of Carol. But I'm going to watch it just because it's dystopian-ish, right? It's pre-dystopian. So I'm going to hang in there for a couple more episodes. I'm curious to know about the timeline. Is it going to be a day in the life or a week in the life, or is it going to go all the way down to 7 months? I'm curious about that. So
okay.
I'm in for at least a second date. Okay, let's talk about this, Tobina. Based upon this one episode, what would you have titled the show?
I think they couldn't have titled it any better. Carol and the End of the World. It was a great title. It's what drew me in. I don't think I would change it.
Carol and her nudist parents. Who
are in a throuple with their healthcare provider.
With their healthcare provider. And also, the world is ending.
And by the way, the world ends in 7 months.
All right. Thank you all for listening to One Episode Stand. If you enjoyed this episode, you can subscribe to the podcast to be alerted when new episodes drop. If you're listening on iTunes, please give us a rating. The theme music is Freedom by Paradox Hip Hop. We'll be back next time with another series premiere. To be let's end on this. Every story has a moral. What was the moral of this episode?
The moral of this episode is if you are going to craft a dystopian cartoon series that you plan on capturing the attention of Luther Palmer. you are going to have to make it as realistic as possible. Someone is going to have to be working at the gas station, running the post office, flying airplanes, getting the fuel. It's the little things. I mean, you can't just be out there all willy-nilly with a cartoon series that doesn't get the facts right.
My moral is that if you are close to 50 years old, your bucket list needs to be a priority in your life.
That's advice for yourself.
All right, everybody. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.